or in 2019. And over that period, I'm sorry, hang on. So we need to compare it with a period in 2020 or in 2019. And over that period, I'm sorry, hang on. The businesses not on that list, impacted businesses, so must occur over a minimum of a 2-week period. That period, I'm sorry, hang on. For businesses not on that list, it may not necessarily align with your BAS return because it onwards, or if it's the micro grant, it's anywhere from the start of the lockdown on the 26th to the end on the 29th of August. So any 2 weeks in that period with the equivalent 2-week period, either in 2020 or if bushfires and other lockdowns and COVID affected that year, then they can go back to 2019. If the business doesn't have a trading history that long, then it can compare that revenue with the 2 weeks immediately prior to the lockdown. So I think this is an improvement because it gets upfront what the tests are. People don't have to contact Service New South Wales. They can just apply directly using one of those 3 comparisons of their choice. And finally, the other thing we've managed to do is get some extensions out to the COVID-19 disaster payments, particularly those in non-hotspot declared areas and those already receiving Commonwealth benefits such as carer payments or partial job seeker payments. So finally, if lockdowns are extended, we have been knocked around because the crisis has evolved, and I know that there has been a lack of clarity in terms of policies, guidelines, FAQs. They have changed, and we are very conscious of that. And that has simply been because the policies have changed, the programs have been changed, and they've been changed to accommodate what we know to be the evolving nature of the crisis. So I think we have more or less a stable set of policies, at least out until the 28th of August. Beyond that, we don't know what's going to happen. But if restrictions change for certain industries, we may go back and retest those during the first part of the lockdown. And obviously, there's the option to continue those programs in line with any extension to the broader restrictions. I think that's it for me. So I'm going to hand it over to Bridget to talk about Service New South Wales approach.
Hi everyone, thank you Michael. I'm Bridget Barrett, the Executive Director for Service for Business. I really wanted just to say a few words around the delivery of the programs from the service perspective. I know many of you on the webinar or many of your clients would have been contacting Service over a number of weeks now and would have experienced a delay in either a callback from a business concierge or getting through on the call centre. I want to apologise for that. As Michael said, we've really scrambled to get these programs up and running. But, you know, what we do recognise is that there's many businesses that are experiencing a lot of pain because of COVID, and this delay hasn't helped them. We've actually experienced a 40-fold increase in demand. Sometimes that equates to 20,000 calls a day and about 5,000 callback registrations a day. We have put on hundreds and hundreds of staff in the assessment space, in the contact space and in the BC land to really ramp up our demand, and we are striving to get much better responses in those areas during this week. I thought I would just give you a bit of a sense of what is actually happening with the grants. So the business grants, there's been just over 104,000 applications with about 278 million paid or approved to be paid from the service side. The micro business grant, around 22,000 applications and 417,000 approved to be paid. And the JobSaver program, we've had around 67,000 applications, around 86 million approved for payment. So I appreciate there's some, there's some questions there around payment. We are doing everything, striving to get those payments out as quickly as possible. And as Michael said, our guidelines will be updated on the web, and we will endeavour to really speed up our response times. So I thank you for your patience and your support with small business as well, and I'll hand you back over to Felice.
Thank you, Bridget. We'll go now to our Q&A panel session. I've already introduced Bridget and Michael, and you've met them both. I'll introduce our other two panel members you might talk to if you call Service New South Wales and ask for expert advice on some of these programs. And he's part of a large team of people that are providing that expert advice and support to our businesses across New South Wales. Also joining us is David Allen. David's a manager, key customers, business taxes at Revenue New South Wales, and he's one of the people behind the scenes who is working actively to help get those applications assessed. So we've got some great experts here that will start to answer some of the questions that you've been posting to us. I note that Michael has answered some of those questions already in his presentation. So if we don't get to every single question, please note that some of them will have been answered through the presentations, and then we'll try and get to the ones that a lot of you are asking and are frequent questions. And then when we wrap up, we'll give you some more details about where you can get additional help for the questions that you've got. So we'll start with one of the questions around accounting firms and how they're being asked for letters from accountants for the applications. So I might throw to Michael, you on this one, if you don't mind. In particular, the question is around accounting firms that are wishing to apply for the grants and having to find independent practitioners. Now, I know you covered this, but you might just want to quickly touch on what we're asking of people there.
Yeah, so we're just asking that if you're a sole trader, that you go to another accountant to get a letter, that you don't write your own letter. But if you're an accounting firm with more than one person, so it has employees, then you can write your own letters. So it's just those sole traders who are being asked to write letters for themselves as individuals that they'll need to go to another sole trader. And if you're worried about a competitor, I guess go a bit further away. Tax agent or a BAS agent to certify or attest that there is in fact a 30% decline in revenue.